Hi, a very warm welcome to all of those who are our listeners and now watching our channel Chalgenius. As you know, Chalgenius is the only platform in the entire India that is working for early stage startups, and we keep on bringing our guests to give you suggestions, to advise you how to work, how to keep your business progressing if you are running an early stage startup. Regarding this, today we have Mr. Suparna Moitro. Mr. Moitro is a former NASCOM head of Eastern India. He is also credited with setting the first cyber lab at Lal Bazaar, which is the police headquarters of Kolkata Police. And you are also the chairman of the board of directors of NIT Nagaland.
Chairman of board of governors of
Board of Governors
so
NIT Nagaland.
I just vacated last year.
Okay, so you're welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
And I think you have a very long experience of working with the early stage startups, sir. You know, our platform is working for the early stage startups because we felt there was no as such platform who should work for startups that has just started the business. First of all, sir, you are welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And it's a pleasure, sir, that you have been here. And my first question is, sir, if a young student or a young entrepreneur wants to launch a startup, what should be his first thought? What should be the first idea that should come to him?
So can I call you Gurvinder?
Yes, sir, please.
You're like my younger brother.
Yes, sir, please.
So Gurvinder, first of all, my gratitude to you for having invited me to this very, very important program on encouraging people to start there and set up their own businesses, which is very important. And I must compliment you also, because there are not many shows like this, so this would go a long way in encouraging people to be deciding to starting their own organization. So this is the first statement I would like to make. Till 1911 in Bengal, and so when I want to talk about startups, it's very, very important that if a society is not encouraging enough to allow someone to set up their own enterprise, then the best of enterprises are bound to, best of students or best of anybody, they are bound to feel demotivated to be starting that, because it's a very, very difficult journey. So sometimes when the state governments or also when the central government, they very loosely say that, okay, while you are looking for a job, today you can become a job creator. It's not so easy. Right? Because an entrepreneur and self-employment are not synonymous words, right? I can go and become a vendor to something, to be a self-entrepreneur, self-employed. But entrepreneurship involves a larger ecosystem, right? So it needs support from your home. It starts with the support of your home, the support from the society, because out of 10 ventures, 9 might fail. Right? And the society must evolve to be encouraging you to take the shock, right? And that's the most important thing. So the first thing is it will have to start from home if that environment is not there, because it's completely a different world. You're not looking for a job here, right? Getting a job is very difficult. I'm not undermining people who are working, not by any chance. But it's comparatively easier to be following what somebody asks you to do. It's comparatively easier. But when you would like to become an entrepreneur, right, you will have to know the A and Z of business. Suppose if you run this channel, right?
So, sir, you say that the journey is very tough initially, and you say out of 10, 9 startups fail. Sir, even we have seen that a lot of startups fail. They say 90% of startups fail everywhere. Globally, it's scenario, not only in India.
Yes.
Why you think that the youth that starts the startup with such a passion, why it fails after 6 months or 1 year? What happens?
See, I will tell you, it's all about mindset. I think, and I wanted to bring this important word in this entire discussion. It's all about mindset. Degrees of uncertainty, right? So what happens? So there will be 99 days when you will come back home disappointed, and at that time you will need people at home to cheer you up, to tell you, because it's a mind
lift your mood, yeah.
It's a mind game, right? So they will tell you, Govinda, no problem, it happens like this, right? So they're not going to give you money, they're not going to do that. But when they come and stay next to you and say, Gurvinder, it always happens, okay? So come on, these are the things to happen. So what will happen is that you will feel re-energized to go back to your work that evening or next morning, right? So that's why I'm saying the environment needs to be conducive. What normally happens is, suppose, Gurvinder, reverse the case. Suppose if it's in a business family and the son or the daughter of the house, the majority of the youth feel that I have great ideas, it's only money which is acting as a deterrent. As we prolong in the discussion, I'm going to tell you, money is the easiest to get. So as we prolong, I'm going to tell you, so that's going to be easiest thing. So the first thing is this, the society needs to make you feel comfortable, right? Your immediate society, your ecosystem will have to give you the confidence. I was watching Indian Idol last evening, and I watch it as one of my favorite programs, and the legendary Hema Malini ji was there last evening, and she was also saying that these are very uncertain. The profession of being an artist is very, very uncertain. So it's not only your immediate family, but you need your entire ecosystem to support you, because in majority of times you will feel uncertain, you would like to quit. But if the environment is comforting enough, they will help you to retain your composure and get back with renewed vigor, Gurvinder.
So apart from the family, sir,
right.
If
the ecosystem as well,
is
your friends,
yes,
everyone, right? So suppose if you're in a company, you'd like to be a cricketer, and none of your friends or none of your this thing, right? You may still do it, but when you're running against the flow, it becomes doubly difficult, rather than when you're for the flow, it becomes relatively easy, right?
So apart from the family and the ecosystem you've created,
right.
Now if I want to ask you that for an early stage startup,
right.
which team is the best team for you?
No, I'll come to the point. First of all, it's not about a team. It's about the person first.
Okay.
Right? And the person needs to be secure mentally.
Okay.
Right? So you need a very, very strong mental setup to be doing this. Right? It's not easy. Right? So you need a strong mental makeup. I'm talking about the softer aspects.
A determination, you say.
Yeah. So you know that, okay, fine, I'm going to be there. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to stick it out. Be it thunder, be it rain. I'm going to stick it out, because every day is not going to be sunshine.
True.
It's going to be more thunder and rain, right? So you'll have to stick it out there and tell yourself, no, it's like this. So you remember a Muhammad Siraj or a Washington Sundar or a Ravi Chandran Ashwin playing such a knock in Australia, right? And they were taking so many bloody blows, body blows, but still they stuck it out, right? It's important to tell yourself that I will have to stick it out, right? And that will give you that first confidence that whatever may be the environmental pressures, I am going to be there. So you will be like a soldier. And the team is not about the skills, Gurvinder, right? You're not trying to get artisans here. You'll also have to get people in, right? It's like a stock market. You know, if you have the money, you will have to play for the longer haul, right? There's some guys who will buy and sell maybe overnight, right? But there's some people who are ready for the longer haul. So when you're talking about the team, it's also about not you only, Gurvinder, also very, very secure people mentally. Money in the bank or fixed deposits or your gold does not give you the security. Security is the feeling that I remain committed to an idea, right? And so when you get the stickiness quotient coming in between such sort of a people, and more important than trying to make money, all these startups which have succeeded in the world have succeeded because they were there for a cause, they were there for a purpose. And that's the most important thing, Govinda.
So I just have had one more question here that comes to my mind. So I have seen so many startups. Initially they go for investment. They just go for investor. They need desperately an investor.
Right.
So you think that at this stage they should think more about the consumer and then about the investor?
Yeah, Govinda. It's not about a startup only. Everything is a startup. Yeah. So unfortunately, startup has been largely linked to the tech enterprises, right? But a startup could be any organization. It could be a manufacturing sector also. It could be anything as a startup.
Anything is startup.
It's the introductory stage of business. Okay. So largely it has become synonymous with the tech. But if you talk about anything also, people are thinking that okay, I have a great idea. I wish I had money.
That happens.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish I had money, right? And they're too eager to sell, but they don't know what people are eager to buy. So if I talk about maybe Facebook or something of that sort, okay, they have made money, but that was not for which they wanted to be in business, right? They had a purpose, right? So every business will have to have a purpose. You must always make money, but an investor would also give money, because when the investor is coming to you, be it an angel investor or when you're talking about a PE, right? So you always don't find angels all the time, right? So when you move on to different sort of venture capitalists and all those things, so they would want you to dilute your stakes in the business. So suppose you have built a thing, they would want your children to be given it to someone because they are spending the money, and you would not like to do that, right? And rather than focusing on the product, more important that rather than understanding the market, you're trying to find out who's going to be the investor, right?
True.
So everybody is saying that, look, I am looking for an investor. I wish I just had an investor. I would have been like Bill Gates. It's far from truth. The only thing is this, see, we all have golgappas or pani puris or fuchkas. I think you also have. So the golgappas or the pani puris or the fuchkas that we have out here, hats off to that person, because he exactly knows where to place his ware, or the fuchkas or the golgappas or the pani puris in front of which school or college at what particular point of time, right?
He knows his business very well.
He knows his business very well. Maybe a sweet meat shop, right? So they know that if they're looking at the health indicators, maybe they will find that people, maybe the age profiles are changing and the lifestyle disease is on the rise. So what they would like to do is that they would like to have a diabetic shandesh coming up, right? So the same product but moving into the other product categories as well, right? So it's important that you need to understand your market, the society for whom you exist, then make a product, then work out a plan 5-year, because people who are giving money would definitely go in there ask you that when will you pay me, right? And they are very experienced guys, right? So they are not going to get swayed by your sweet arguments and sweet logic. They're going to say that, how do you want to pay me? By when will you pay me? And if you say you're going to pay me by 3 years, right? What's the plan? How do you plan to pay me, right? So if you don't know, if you've not been through that journey, if you're just spending time only being too over enthusiastic and to come out with a visiting card that I'm an entrepreneur, I think I would request all the young folks to desist from such romanticism, Govinda.
Okay, sir, but such a wonderful advice you have given. Sir has given such a wonderful advice to early stage startups, but this program is not over yet. Okay, now we are coming up with the second part of this program where sir is going to tell us the best advice for the early stage startups. He is to give the best advice for the early stage startups. Do watch the second part, which will be coming soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll be joining you on the second part.
Thank you.